All right, so we finished modeling the clouds. So let's set up a shader for them. Okay, so I'll close this and let's bring in one of the clouds. I'm going to turn off the instances temporarily so that it just loads up faster. So the first thing you want to do is you need to bring in the object parameters from Octane and specify this as a volume. Okay, so once you've done that, then it should be able to render it. The second thing is let's just set up a volume shader for this. So I'm going to take an Octane network here. We'll call it cloud. Let's assign it to the cloud. And then the first thing is we're going to take a volume, a medium volume, and connect it to the medium. Now, because this is a fairly big scene, I don't want the volume step length to be like this low. So what I can do is I can start with a volume step length of 50, take the density down to 1, and take the scattering color to 1 to white as well. Okay, so like get everything to white, not pure white, but just fairly close to it. And this should give us a basic thing to start off with. So let me just hit IPR and see what we get. All right, so there you go. So this is the basic cloud that we have. So I'm just going to jump into the cloud shader and we'll make a few adjustments. So I want it maybe lighter still. So let's just bring this down a fair bit. Okay, and the second thing is let's try to set up we'll take a volume ramp and we're going to adjust, let's try to adjust the scattering ramp first. And what we're going to do is let's try to set this up to blue and see what we get. Yeah, just lower the max value. And then we'll also take another volume ramp for our absorption. The change that you have to make here is this has to reverse out. So this has to be white and that has to be black. And then somewhere in the middle, I'll try to add like a yellow or an orange. Yeah, there you go. That looks decent. And then we can adjust the max value so we get like a decent result. Let's try to make this more bluish. No, not too much. Yeah, so this is pretty decent. We can try to adjust a couple of things. Let's do one thing. Let's come to this cloud and I'll press E and we'll just scale it up a little bit and move it back and down a little bit like that. No, like a little forward is good actually. Yeah, so this is good. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's bring in the other cloud as well, like the one that we have on the other side. And we'll give it the same material. So I'll just switch on cloud 1 and let's give it the same material, or let's do one thing. Let's just do a copy paste just in case we want to modify that shade a little bit more. Okay, and then let's just do IPR again. So yeah, so there you go. So this is the second cloud. So what I can do is just remember to do one thing. Like whenever you are rendering a volume, just make sure that you add the Octane object parameters and turn on render volume primitives. Like that's very important. Okay, so what I can do here is, let's say if you want this side to be slightly darker or something like that, let's change the absorption color to bluish and we can just increase the density a little bit. Okay, I think I'm doing it for the wrong one. Just a second. Yeah, I'm in the wrong shader. Yeah, so cloud 1. Okay, so the first thing is let's just increase the density. So that side is a little bit darker and let's adjust the max value and see what we get. See, the max value allows you to kind of, like if you want it to be really light and fluffy, you can do it using max value. That looks nice. Like, so what I can do is I can keep this slightly darker and keep this one to be much more lighter. Yeah, not that much, but then it sort of gives you a nice little contrast between them. I can also take this cloud and let's see if we can just move it up a little bit. Yeah, I think this is good. And let's do one thing. Let's take the bus. Where's my bus? Yeah, and let's move it, like slightly higher, and I'll rotate it so it looks like it's going over those clouds. Yeah, there we go. So that looks like it's going over those clouds. I mean, the angle doesn't matter overall. It's going to be like a weird angle, but yeah, from our visual perspective, it's fine. Yeah, so there you go. So this is the overall image so far. So now the main things left are to start building up the actual VFX elements. So we need the exhaust, and then I need to bring in the little guy there, who's from Daz. So I'll bring him in, and then we want like dust and grass to blow and all of those things. So that's what we'll start doing with the next lessons. So let's do one final thing. I'll bring in the instances and we'll hit a reload and just get a final render. So yeah, so there you go. So this is everything that we've made so far with the clouds and the lighting and everything. Okay, so as I said, in the next lesson we'll start with the various VFX elements. Alright, so before I close this lesson, there is one very, very important thing which I forgot, which is actually, I think I even forgot when I was working on my original file. And I was sort of wondering why Octane was taking so long to load up a simple cloud like this. So just to sort of show you what the problem is, like I'm going to turn on the timer and we'll try to hit IPR. And this is not a very heavy cloud. This is about, like the VDB file is about 25 MB. So it's not a very heavy cloud. So I'm going to pause the recording and I'll come back once it loads up. Alright, so as you can see, that is still loading. Okay, it's been 55 seconds now and it's taking that long to load up, like a single cloud. So there you go. At around a minute, it finally came and it says pre-processing scene. So the point is it shouldn't take this long. So I was obviously doing something wrong. And what I was doing wrong was fairly simple. Octane can either load volumes or VDBs, and you have to specify which one. So when you turn on the volume tab, your volume has to be a volume. It can't be a VDB. Like if you want to load up a VDB, it's separately from here. Like you can say render open VDB file and you can load it up. But when you're in here, what you need to do is the default cloud system uses VDBs, right? So you'll notice that it's a VDB. So if you're working in Octane, what you want to do in the end is apply a convert VDB and convert this to a standard volume. Okay, and you can do that for both. So just like apply a convert VDB and just convert it to volume. And now even with both of these on, if we hit IPR again, I'll just start the timer and press IPR, and we can see how long it takes this time. Like that was about 8 seconds to load up the whole thing. So yeah, 12 seconds to load up both. So just remember this bit. Okay, this is I know I'm putting it at the end of the file. I'll put a text annotation in the beginning of the video as well, so you know that this is important. Just go into your volume file and put a convert VDB node and convert it to volume. So yeah, that's basically it. So this is as far as rendering volumes or rendering clouds in Octane is concerned.